In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing how to export from After Effects. So one of the things that you're going to need is you're going to need this program called Media Encoder. Let me close this. It looks like this. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete the stuff that I already have in here just to show you exactly what we're going to be doing. I find that sometimes it helps to open this before we use it. So you may just want to have this open when you're ready to render out your video. Okay, so once you've finished your video, you may have some extra space here, okay? Because like it might be your video composition, so composition settings, it may be set to like 3 or something like that, so I'll just set mine back to 3. And then I'm gonna have like all this dead space, okay? So what I would suggest doing is putting your playhead right where the last one ends. So, and I'm gonna zoom in so I can get the very last frame here. Perfect. All right, and then if I zoom out a little bit, that's gonna be at about 15 seconds. So I'm gonna go back up into composition settings, and change this to 15 seconds. Okay, so then my composition should be filled with footage. That way you will be rendering out a video that is only 15 seconds long rather than 3 minutes and just have a bunch of black space in your video. Okay, so the second thing that we need to do is go to File, and we're gonna go to Export, and we're gonna go to Add to Adobe Media Encoder. This might be grayed out if you don't have it downloaded, so just make sure that you have this downloaded before you try to do this. So Add to Adobe Media Encoder. Okay, so this might take a moment on your machine, but when you hit Add to Adobe Media Encoder, it'll pop in here. And so whatever the name of your file is, it will pop in here. Now, one thing that you want to make sure that you do before you do that is just save. Okay, so just make sure you save. I'm going to go back into Media Encoder. I'm actually going to delete this and then do that one more time. So just to make sure that we have everything that we've updated. So composition, nope, I lied, File, Export, and then Add to Media Encoder. And it'll pop it up right here, okay? So now we need to talk about how we're gonna render this, like the codec that we're gonna render it at. I prefer this HEVC H.264. So if we just click on this, we can see all of our options, and we can actually see the size of our video. Because our videos are gonna be small, you really don't want them to be larger than like 50 megabytes at this point because our videos are small, okay? And then you can do match source, or you can go find the size that you have set your composition to be. So with my main composition, I'm gonna go back to After Effects, composition settings. So with my main composition, it's 1920 by 1080. So if you want to render it at that size, you could choose 1920 by 1080. That puts me up to 30 megabytes. If you want it to be a little bit smaller, there's no problem with going down in your video size. If you made your composition at 720 and you try to go up to 1080, it's going to be pixelated. So you can also downsize this a little bit just to make it a little bit of a smaller video. You won't really even notice the difference. And then that'll be 7 megabytes. Okay, so 30 megabytes isn't even that large, but I'm just trying to keep these as small as possible just because they're really small little vignette videos that we've made, okay? If you're not using audio, you can untick the export audio. That's not necessary, but you can do that. And then this is where you actually save it, okay? So in the output name, you just click here, and you will just choose where you're going to. I'm just going to put it on the desktop, and I'm going to give it a name, Triptych 1, something like that, okay? So then you hit save. Now, save doesn't actually like render this for you. What you need to click now is click OK in the settings, and then hit the play button here. and that will automatically render your video for you. All right, so then if I go to where I saved it on the desktop. Here's my video. All right, that's about it for this tutorial. Goodbye.